Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 9th, presented by Mercury. We hope all of you had a great 4th of July weekend celebrating our country. But now let's get back to business and talk to Tom, Lee, and Josh and find out what they have to say. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 9th, presented by Mercury. Hey, it's time for us to connect with Lee Pitts, our favorite crappie guide up there at Weiss Lake. We're going to talk Weiss Lake and Neely Henry. Let's start at Neely Henry, Lee. What's happening on that puddle?
It's hot. It's hot everywhere. It's more of a early morning type deal, getting out and still you can catch some fish up there tight. I think a lot of guys are downsizing a little bit, throwing a 1/4 ounce buzz bait, something small, moving around. But then you've got to back out and try to hit some of these docks, a little deeper docks with some brush on it. You can still catch some fish, with the bass fishing. It's that typical time of year, it's hot, it's summertime. I'm lethargic. The bass are lethargic. It's just one of those things. You just got to slow down, really, really work on your presentation. You can still catch some fish, but it's one of those deals that you just got to slow down and just give them what they want.
Is the crappie bite going to be really tough because it's going to be something offshore, but there's a lot of boat traffic? You just kind of avoid it at this point?
It is, and plus with the crappie also, at Neely, if you can do it early in the morning and get out there before some of these fish, get a lot of traffic on them and get a lot of the pleasure boats on them. It's best right now to either do an early morning, late afternoon type deal. But like I said, you can still find some fish out deeper. They're going to be around wood cover, something that they can kind of hold on to not really have to chase a bait down. They want that current to kind of flush everything to them. So they're going to hold tight to the brush, get out there in some cooler water where they can kind of be comfortable and not have to exert a lot of energy.
Okay, so assuming that Weiss Lake's going to be very similar.
It is. It's right now on Weiss, the bass bite is pretty tough right now. I just got through this morning. We had a morning trip and we started out stripe fishing. I think we caught 5 or 6 pretty good stripe. Had a good early morning, and then went to bass fish a little bit. And it's tough. We're throwing shaky heads, putting a speed crawl on a shaky head, a little small worm, and just really trying to just beat that cover pieces and just keep a bait in it and really manipulate those rock piles. And just it's a slow bite. But you can get out and catch some fish. So, not saying that you can't catch anything right now. It's just that time of year that the fish are real finicky. They're not exerting a whole lot of energy. They're just laying out there in that thermocline, getting where they can get comfortable. And if something comes by, they'll get it, but they're not going to chase nothing.
Well, it sounds like it might be a great time to test the air conditioning unit in your house. Lee, thanks for spending the time with us, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Dano, thank you. Talk to y'all next week.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 9th, presented by Mercury. Time for us to connect with Josh Herron and talk about Logan Martin and Lay Lake. Josh, what's happening down there on Logan Martin and Lay Lake right now?
Man, it is the dog days. It is hot. It is muggy. Boat traffic is at an all-time high, so it is definitely it hit it hard, fast, and early kind of deal. About like everybody else is saying, you don't really want to be out past 10 or 11 right now. It gets pretty miserable. But, I mean, like I said, there's still a lot of fish to be caught shallow in the morning. Spooks, spinnerbaits, chatterbaits, just kind of running those main river seawalls. You kind of peck around and run into a few. And then it's kind of a pull out and aim for brush or any of those little natural creek or river ledges. Nothing really stands out against anything else. It's kind of the bad part about this time of year. But it's a great time to spend a little time with your electronics, looking, learning, and you can always stumble on a couple little clusters of them here and there.
I know that we did that filming with Scott Canterbury, and we caught 1 or 2 off of docks and got a couple of bites off of brush piles. About how deep do you want to put yourself?
Man, Logan's kind of odd because you can catch them a lot deeper at Logan than you think. I mean, I've caught largemouth at Logan in 28 to 32. Which is extremely deep for the Coosa, but it seems like that little magic numbers 12 to 15 is where a majority of your fish on the Coosa River concentrate. They really like that 12 to 15 foot range. The only bad part is that's also a really hard depth range to graph. it's a lot easier to graph deep fish than it is that 12-foot range. Just because the way your transducers are set up and all that, it's kind of hard to pick them up really good without getting on top of them.
Would guys want to go to the dams when the water's running and maybe try to pick off a spotted bass or maybe even some striper and stuff like that with swim baits or grubs or something? Is that something that they might want to try to time?
Yeah, Alabama Power actually has a lake. It's called Lake Smart. It's an app. Anybody who really runs a boat this time of year, it's a really good option to have. Gives you a chance to check generation schedule, timing, water levels, inflows and outflows. And that's also a really good thing to base your days around. Current is king this time of year. So, I mean, like, for example, I know this time of the year, and especially right now as the rain starts to taper off, the only time they're really going to run water is late in the afternoon. Like, I don't think they're really turning much on until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you take off and run for one of these dams at daylight, you're going to be greedy with rocks and a lot of them and some low water. That doesn't necessarily make for a conducive environment for glass boats. Like I said, it's a really good tool to have. Kind of saves you a lot of gas and a lot of headache.
Appreciate it, brother. We'll talk to you again next week. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 9th, presented by Mercury. Time for us to connect with Tom Ott and talk about Guntersville. I know the 4th of July weekend saw all kinds of fireworks up there, lots of boats on the water. Has it fishing been okay?
Well, fishing's it's been okay. It hasn't been stellar by any stretch, but I mean, I think that's just the heat. Right now it's more about drinking water and finding a good place to jump in, I mean, more than fishing. But, one thing I am seeing really seeing a lot of schooling action. Somebody asked about that a couple of weeks ago. I hadn't really been seeing a whole lot, but now we've been seeing a whole lot of fish just coming up to the surface. So, it can, you see these fish come up and you really don't know at first if they're white bass or stripe or largemouth until you start seeing them really bust. But, Jen and I chased a bunch of them around, Saturday morning early before it got crazy out there. And, we were able to put a few in the boat. We had a couple of 2s and 3s, nothing really stellar, but, anytime you can throw top water and fish are just going crazy, it's a lot of fun. So, that ledge bite, is getting a little tougher. And it's not so, again, just because of pressure. I think some of the most obvious spots are getting hit really hard, but you can still find those fish out there and you can still find them bunched up and still catch some really good fish. It's just the typical, we're coming into the dog days and I don't know that many guys really enjoy fishing out in the gnats and things like that as much as I do, but it does get a little tough out there for sure.
I know I did a little filming last week with Josh Strasner, the Elite Series Pro, doing some work with him. And we were seeing little groups of fish in the little ditches that come off that main river channel. But the wind had picked up and it had made everything a little dirty, a little hard to find fish then. We even kind of remarked maybe better to just go night fishing. Is that still an option?
Oh, absolutely. Jen and I went out and we put 23 pounds of fish in the boat in our 5 best. But yeah, night fishing is, I won't say it's a secret. There were a couple of tournaments out there, but, very little boat traffic. I don't know. I had some kind of flying ant eat me up. I don't know what that was all about. Never experienced that deal, but we caught quite a few fish and we fished almost till daylight. So, with a good moon, you can do that all night out there. It's a lot of fun too. Fish anywhere you want. That's the best part.
Big worms, big jigs, maybe even a big plug or a big spinner bait. Tom, as always, we appreciate everything and we'll talk to you again next week.
All right, guys, you have a good one. Tight lines. Be safe out there.
Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 9th, presented by Mercury. Thanks to the guys and everything that they do to help us put a few more fish in our boats. If you're needing tackle, go see Colin and Jamie up in the loft. Go see Angela and the guys in service, Pat and the guys in parts. Or if you're looking for that boat, go see Katie, Melissa, and Patrick. We'll do everything we can to give you a hand and thank you for being the best part of Bucks Island.